In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 questions, according to the minimalist guys, that we need to ask ourselves before making a purchase. Hi lovelies! Thank you for joining me in today's episode. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Geraldine B. I am trying my best to raise my family in a healthy and a simple way by adopting a minimalist kind of life, being mindful of my financial goal. If that's something that interests you, please support my channel by subscribing and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of my upload videos, which is every Monday and Friday, twice a week. Now, just a disclaimer, these ideas or these questions are not mine, as mentioned earlier on. These ideas are from the minimalist guys, which I'm referring to Joshua Fields Milbourne and Ryan Nicodemus. They are the minimalist guys. Number 2 disclaimer is I'm not a financial expert. I am just a random YouTuber who is trying to make things work for my family. Now, Let's Ideas is so beautiful that I have decided to make a video out of it. Now, let's dive into question number 1. Before making a purchase, we need to ask this first ourselves. Can I afford this purchase? Obviously, if we have to use a credit card, then that means we cannot afford. When we say we can't afford it, that means we are able to pay that in cash. And the way Dave Ramsey do his rant about these things is, he said, broke people would say, I think I would be able to pay that, or I think I can afford that. There's like a doubt in there. So when we say that item that we want to purchase, without a doubt, we can say to ourselves, yes, I can afford that, and I can pay that in cash. Second question is, can I pay the actual cost? Like the maintenance cost of that purchase. Like for example, if I decided to buy a new car, I am thinking long term. I need to spend money for maintenance. Like I need to change oil from time to time. I need to change tire and so on and so forth. So by considering that question, we are actually thinking long term. Like for example, we're decided to buy a new house. We are not just saving for a down payment. We need to consider that extra amount of money set aside for maintenance, like our furnace will break or any appliances that needs to be changed from time to time. So that's something that we need to consider. And aside from that, there's a psychological stress or cost that comes along with it. Am I able to sleep well at night with this purchase? Or will this purchase take away my restful sleep or will give me stress? Is this worth the purchase? Third question is, will it add value to my life? Will it give me joy long term? Not just the 30 seconds joy that it gives me whenever that I have that purchase, right? Like we all have that dose of dopamine, the pleasure that, oh wow, I have a new TV or I have this new stuff. Or with kids, it's pretty common, I have this new toy. And after 30 seconds, I'm exaggerating, after a day or two, then we get used to it and then we want more. So that's just a cycle of consumerism. So before buying anything, then we have to consider asking, what value does this item give to myself? Will this be that useful? Is there a return of investment that I'll be expecting after this? And I still remember my mother, when I was still a child, she would ask me like, Nak, child, when we buy this thing, 10 years from now, this will remain the same. Like she's talking about purchasing like an appliances. So she would rather make a purchase like a property, a land, or a livestock that would increase its values over time. And I could still remember that up to this point. And we need to be honest with ourselves with this question. Because like buying more purse, for example, like for me, my personal experience, like, yeah, I need to have this because this will give me joy and temporary joy. But if I need to be honest with myself, I was like, I already have lots. I don't need this one right now. Question number 4 is, what are the alternatives? Like, what else can I do with this money that I have instead of buying this item in front of me right now? Like, for example, there's a $100 worth of blouse. Is this really worth my $100 right now? Could I invest this $100 instead and give me that return of investment in years from now? And personally, the way that I do it to help me resist with this temptation is, whenever I am tempted to buy a new blouse or sweater in the store, I would tell myself, like, instead of buying this one, when I get home, I would buy an index fund worth the same with this blouse. So it's commission free at Questrade, so that's easy for me to match that cost of that blouse that I am supposed to buy. And that gives me like relief, that gives me joy, because I was thinking like, I'm making the right decision here. Instead of buying this blouse that will be in 10 years from now, it is still a blouse. It remains the same. Instead, my investment will grow over time, and my future self would thank me for that decision that I am doing right now. Number 5 question is, can I get by without having this for a while? And that's an important question to ask ourselves. And one of the minimalist principles is, if I don't need this 5 minutes ago, then most probably I won't need this right now. And there's also a 30-30 rule. Like, for example, if that item costs $30, then you need to wait for 30 minutes before deciding to really buy that item. And my husband and I, we also have this 24-hour rule. Like, we need to wait for 24 hours before we decide to buy anything. Because sometimes we are so excited, we are so overwhelmed, and then we do the impulse buying. And after that, we would regret, because like, there's a better use of this money than buying this stuff right now. Like, for example, we went to Best Buy and just like trying to shop around, right? And we came across with this TV on sale, and we're like, oh, this is so cool, we love this one. And the sales representative talked to us and, hey, this is on sale and you could save a lot of money. You know, that attitude of thinking that if we buy the item that is on sale, we save money. Do you have that? I am guilty with that as well. You know what makes us save money is by not buying at all, by not upgrading things that we already do have. And so we look at each other's eyes and say, remember our 24-hour rule? So we can't just decide right now. We need to go home, we need to let those emotions cool down, and let's talk about that in the morning. And early in the morning, we are in front of our old TV. We have the same thrill in the movie that we're watching. It's pretty the same, and then our TV is still good. We're still, enjoy watching the news, and we're like, oh, thank God we didn't buy that. We didn't upgrade our TV, because guess what? We could save that money instead of buying a bigger TV, and I think that's a wise decision. So there's always power in waiting. But of course, we don't just like, I can't buy this $2 chewing gum and I have to wait. By all means, buy that right now. This would only apply to bigger purchase. You could set a limit or the price tag, but basically start with a 30-30 rule. If it costs $30, then wait for 30 minutes, and so on and so forth. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope that you have learned something. Let me know your tips, your hacks about saving money, about before having this purchase. What is it in your mind that you consider before buying anything? I would love to read your comments. And once again, thank you for joining me in today's episode. Until my next one. Bye!